What's up, y'all? Oh my gosh, how are we doing? We're doing the Saturn. Whatever, look amazing. Okay, we're doing the Saturn Retrograde download. Messages. Okay, so Saturn Retrograde is going to be going from July 13th, 2025 to November 25th. Okay, so you guys, welcome into the space. I go by the Holy Cow. You know, you obviously click this message because the zodiac sign or the message or a combination of the two really spoke to you. We have only 4 signs left, which I'm really proud of myself. This is like a lot of like work, but I know like the demand is high, even though the collapse is collapsing. So thank you guys for being here with me. I love you deeply. Let's get started. I know it's a crazy time. Yeah, crazy time, but let's just see. I was really getting messages about the flow for this sign. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. I may not know it all. Virgo, the flow. What's up, Virgo? What is up, Virgo? Okay, I feel like we need to do, shit hit the fan. Okay, all right, Virgo, we'll talk about it. High Priestess, 8 of Cups. You know, the aftermath, if you will. Yeah. Right? Think of on to staring at the demons in the face. So I have to tell you this, as your psychic, I can't break any veils of consciousness for you. So I have to remain ethical in my work and not enlighten someone prematurely, because you have to be the creator of your own enlightening experiences. But when we're talking about demonic frequencies and why I'm a demon slayer, it has a lot to do with the fact that I've been scarred. It's the reason my dad is so protective over me, right? Protective. You have to make a judgment call, because at this time, the mask falls off, the skin falls off. So there are a lot of people, much like this Medusa frequency. Many of you might resonate with the Medusa frequency, right? There, maybe that's a side of you, right, Virgo? Where it's like this crazy frequency comes out. It's just like themes of like, you know, something seeming innocent and turning into like Dark Lord. Like, but for a lot of Virgos, it's like that is something. It's the reason you're so pure. Every Virgo has the why, because they've been through the hellfire. You know, you stay in your Virgo purity and you try to stay, you know, of the light because you've seen some shit, Virgo. Right? You just jumped right in. Yeah. The full moon. You know? And I feel like what I'm getting here, I'm just going to read the energy. I'm not even going to talk at you, Virgo. I kind of feel like with your messages, like I need to tell what the story is. I don't have to worry about you, Virgo. You just need to like hear. You're going to see your message in the way that I'm like reading the cards. So from what I would get here is like, hey, there's an energy that's like, please is trying to telepathically communicate to this energy and let it know that this full moon, they saw the prophecy of what was going to go, that was predicted, play out exactly in the scary, freaky way. And I feel like I said, because of how the illustriousness of this moon has brought these two things together, it's almost like a magnetic pull. It's like this person got beta pulled out to this karmic experience, and Virgo is sitting here like being notified about like the experience. Virgo, I am completely channeling right now, so you'll have to let a kid know about what the frequency is. Oh yeah. Yep. This is how I really feel like the energy is. Someone, bless your heart, Virgo. I think your spiritual discernment, like either saying no to something, it's like something saved your ass, because it's like there's a situation that if you're getting this version of it, you're going to be enlightened that there's also this version of it, and vice versa. Like if something looked horrible, then there's also this really big lightness that is being protected by it being presented or judged in this way. Something about that for you, Virgo. And it has to do with your emotional, like discernment. this person, this energy, this was destined to fade. This is someone that's on your path that you were always going to come into this experience. You both were going to awaken each other because of your duality. That's what this is about, Virgo. There is a karmic partnership that is like, that is, the contract is fulfilled, it's complete. It's like, because you've learned, you're being revealed what this is something that was always going to be on your path. You two were going to come and do this battle, this dance, where you were going to find out that it's one way and the other, you know, to show you light and dark and wholeness, and how you cannot carry out a wound where you try to like eradicate one or the other, like only present this way or only present that way, you know, because it's about your ability to, you know, be a queen in your emotions, you know, emotionally mature. Because this situation definitely is going to emotionally mature you. I think you may have come into this life, Virgo, as someone that needed to, you know, emotionally develop. You know? Because there are some things that are just on your path to do just that. And I think, Virgo, that's where Spirit is trying to guide you. It's like the purpose of this relationship that you might be really hyper fixated on too, because maybe it feels like it was, you know, I think, Virgo, right now you could be projecting on a situation that it was like, it's like the situation made you really happy, like this person made you really happy, but you're kind of attributing like your happiness for them. And so then it creates a control dynamic where now you are codependent on them, or you need their energy for some reason rather than letting it be sovereign. Because even if you feel that way about someone and it made you really happy, it could have nothing to do with like what this person is really like feeling, thinking, and going through. And so that's what you're learning here, you know? And that's why you might be a vibrational resonance to where it's like a very like empath narcissist type of thing, where it's like, you know, you don't want to be narcissistically like only worrying about your experience to where you put someone else in a position where they have to be playing a certain role. Because you just have to realize you're going to get the pole of that one day, where they go the complete opposite direction, where they've stretched themselves so far away from themselves, from their source, that they just separate. And then something that you thought would never leave, it's like Virgo, you're like dealing with that under this moon, where it's like manifesting kind of like worst fears, you know, or just like, you know, it's like the flip of it. It's like it's fated and destined with this moon for you, Virgo. It feels like the Capricorn full of that moon, that is. Right? And it has to do with, you know, your internal waters being purified and healed, you know, needing divine intervention to probably heal this level of wounding. This is also the type of thing that I get, that it's like, you know, the odds are is like we mess this up one more time and it's over. And this might be the thing that like, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back type of frequency. Justice. You know? Virgo, you have to recognize this. This is what justice is judging you. This is what karma is serving you right now. You're feeling like you're being ignored. But it's your karmic justice for the way that you ignored something yourself. Literally, Virgo. Literally. Whatever you're going through right now, because you might be someone who can really focus on what the universe is giving you right now. But it's like, whatever you're seeing in this person, whatever they're giving you, whatever way that you are being like shut out, ignored, like no contact kind of situation, however that it was someone like, you know, it has to do with the ways that this was the energy you gave, embodied, you know? And it may not be in this relationship, but it is in your life, you would know where you got away with negligence. Yeah, because I feel shit is hitting the fan again. Still hitting the fan, Virgo. Right? Because it's like temperance, right? Temperance is kind of like this frequency of like, you know, you had an angel. You had someone that could give you the 10 of Pentacles and give you a sense of like self-fulfillment. Right? This would be the type of thing where it's like, I swear this was a certain way up until this like point, because you were ascending, you were waking up. But yeah, this is about partnerships of equal give and take, 6-6. And maybe this is how you split up the partnership. It's like there's provider, nurturer type of frequencies. One of you is just this, one of you is just that. And that kind of binary thinking, where you're gonna get some binary as results when you realize like they're all good and they're all bad. They could love you or they could hate you. And I think you have to think about that. Like, if this person were to hate me, what would that be like? You know, because I think you can't be this baffled. You know? Holy shitski. And that's what it's indoctrinating you with. Because this was about facing your biggest fear, because the reality was this energy was always going to be there for you. Look. And this person, this energy represents the moon. So like whatever it is, it doesn't matter how, because some of you may have been a long time, 10. You might have had the 10 of cups, you had the 10 of cups and the 10 of swords, which means you spent a lot of time trying to reach for happiness and a lot of time just like spiritually initiating. A lot of that. Shit hit the fan, you know? In certain ways. But it's only because, look, Queen of Cups. It's like what you're recognizing. Also, I think you just passed. There's also for my high octave Virgos, I feel like if this was an initiation where it's like I'm gonna put you through 10 spiritual tests, they know it's you now because you would have passed all 10 of those tests. You know, so take it as it resonates. King of Cups. Because I think that's what it was, Virgo. It's like you're going through a perspective, maybe because you're the one being initiated, that it's like, this is hard, this is unfair, this is whatever. But the person that's looking at you is building this with you, has given you this much thus far. Because they see the distance that they can go. The Lovers. Right? Because Virgo, there could be two totally different timelines. There could be something in your life that reminds, where Spirit is really telling you it's 10 of swords. It's a good idea to like let that fly. But this is like kind of the learning. Maybe this is a message for you. Is like maybe you struggled with throwing babies out with bathwater in your life. And that's not something that an emotionally mature person. So this partner, this reflected mirror, this destined and fated contract that you were dealing with under whatever you were going through and dealing with under the full moon, that was teaching you, it was helping you to emotionally mature. That was like the point of it. But if you do emotionally mature, it looks like Saturn has hella rewards for you. Look at this. Baby, look at this. That's a beautiful frequency. I haven't seen this combo in one of you. This is, okay. Also, it may not even be, you could have something like this offered to you, but this is also just talking about like this type of relationship will immediately put you in the position of like knowing what equal give and take is for you. It looks like you want somebody that can add to your life. So if you're a pentacle, maybe you'd want like your partner to like be a cup. So that like this is where you realize, like, you know what I mean? Because what I'm seeing here is just like, it's band for band, M for M. So like if you're in a relationship with like two assholes, you know what I mean? If like you're both reflecting the same archetype in each other, and it's like we're trying to give the same thing and nobody's budging. That's kind of what I get with this frequency, no matter what you try to go for. And I feel like in the near future, Virgo, this experience, it's again, you couldn't have had this without that experience. Like you couldn't have had this reciprocity. I just feel like Virgos, it's about to be reciprocal. You know? The lovers is reciprocal. And again, it's overwhelming. It's like completely overwhelming. Because I feel like this first initial this full moon for you might have been completely overwhelming in one pole. Like it could have been really like, you know, I'm just getting like, you know, when something goes from 0 to 60 in 3.5, yeah, it's like that escalated very quickly type of frequency, and it was a super karmic nature, and Spirit was like really wanting you to reflect on like how like this is something you've put out before. So only reason under the cat full moon you would like get some shit like that. But then once you serve your karma and you get dealt with by karma, it should show you exactly how to clarify and identify. Look at these two people, you know? And this is also, I think there's something that you had to say about the timing, like the time that it was taking. And Spirit's like, I know you were so worried about the timing, but it's just because you didn't even maybe know outright that you both had something you were supposed to give specifically. So you got to get to Ace of Pentacles. You got to be, you know, you got to feel like a renewal to someone. So if you're being asked to give the intuitive, emotional side of it, you guys have to actually reflect one another. But it looks like you're successful with that partnership, with whoever the real lovers is for you in your life, where it's just like you just see the whole vision with them. Because Virgo, I feel like the person that's like, for you can like support every vision, every ideal. Because I think this other relationship is just super conditional, you know? You got to walk on a lot of eggshells to avoid a lot of like persecution, you know? Wow. And right now, it's like, you're a real emperor. I'm just getting like, he's sovereign, he's an emperor, and these people aren't of the same level as him at all. Like, don't let your fear, your worst fear, manifest. It's not real. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just karmic. But this person is still, remember, this person would reflect your value. So the Three of Cups is just guess. This is the person who owns the castle, that you're dealing with. Your divine partner should own the castle and have the guest at the party. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's just like this third party frequency with this emperor outside of you, where it's just like, so anyways. And I feel like you have this deep fear, Virgo, where you don't let yourself live passionately. Like, you get really freaked out by your Kundalini energy rising. You might have a lot of fears, and you might like really settle in life because you're afraid of someone like leaving you. It might be a past life karma and scar of like being like, this is like something like, it's like being cheated on, or being like, yeah, or just like, it's like crimes of passion is what I'm hearing. Also, maybe chill out with the telenovelas, like, type shit. Just like a little much, Virgo. No shade. This reading's kind of giving that. Like, it's giving a little bit too much drama. No shade, no shade, no shade. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. The income's a reality, you know what I mean? Where it's like, we have to address the ways where it's like, we've got a king. This is just the karma. It's like, this situation, Virgo, no matter what, taught you about your value. Being put out and, on, like, this is someone, like, kicking you to the curb. No shade, no tea. No shade, no tea. This King of Swords is like, get the fuck out and block the number. No shade, no shade, no shade, no shade. Because they're building the bag. You get what I'm saying? Like, no shade. And so, because this karmic situation for you, Virgo, felt as if it were extremely personal, because like I said, you might be on too many parasocial experiences. Virgo, you need to come back online. You need to be in nature again. If you have not been outside in a long time, Virgo, for just like well-being purposes, because I'm getting a lot of blue light, Okay, let's talk about it, Virgo. I'm getting too much blue light in these cards. I don't see too much natural light. I see a lot of artificial lighting, Virgo. I'll tell you right now. Turn off the telenovela. Turn off the TVs. Turn off Love Island. Turn it off. Straight up. Would you believe me if I told you I don't even know what we don't even watch television? Would you believe me if I told you there are people who don't even do what you do? I don't think you would. Virgo, I think you've been giving yourself a lot of excuses for a long time. So you can't really be super surprised when you were the culprit behind this much manipulation from this person who could have given their shit to like a real empress for real. This person's got to go give their fucking value to someone that will respect it. Because, baby, the way you getting spit out right now, because you could be the person, like I said, that's doing this, right? Where it's like, I'm experiencing this. You could be witnessing this, but the dynamic that I'm supposed to tell you about this story, remember, because Virgo, I wasn't even really supposed to talk to you, but it's like, it ends up that it's like, the idea here is that like, you're being spit out as royalty on the outside. So that was what the lesson was about, is that like, maybe you needed to be triggered into independence, and it may not have been pretty, but if you come out the King of Swords, people can't say shit about you. But Virgo, I have to ask you a question. Are you standing in your King of Swords right now? That would have to be your choice. Many of you are like, hell yeah, I am. So then they look stupid, because it's like, hey, over here, hey, Downtown 81 shit, boom for real shit. But it can only be a boom for real if you really came out boom for real. If you look busted and dusted right now, if you're jelly roll right now, in terms of energetics, Lord knows what you really look like. But I'm saying, if your energy is just slob behavior, because you could be completely in the vessel of somebody who just never changes. It doesn't even matter. But your energy, when is the last time you worked out your energy? For many of you, that's what you're relying on, this partnership, this contract. And I just feel like this is like this contract of like, feed me. But yeah, it's really great because like I said, I just feel like Virgo, like as I said, you're gonna have to, there's a lot of like your fears that you're facing, but accounting, I just had an experience where like a fear could have been presented because right now it's a tax. Like I'm telling you, 8 of Wands. Right now, fears are being triggered at you. And I just had to tell you this, Virgo. You might be like, oh my God, does somebody hate me? But then you have to look at your real life to not scoop off into schizophrenia. That's also something I feel like I need to say because that just happened to me. It's like, you're good, you're safe. Like Virgo, I think you went through a trauma, you know, that this full moon is like really like triggering you, but you can't, just because you've gone through a trauma does not mean that you can like, you can't use that trauma to play it out on like just people you think about in passing, right? Because I have just been, like, for example, I have to keep talking about what my mom did to me because it was traumatic for me. Like, I've never had to sleep in a car before in my life, like, for any reason. Like, I've never not had somebody go to sleep, and so that was, like, a hard experience for me, just because I find it unnecessary, because it's not a competition for well-being, so I just don't understand why, if you have the space, like, why aren't the rooms filled? Like, don't go, I don't believe in getting something more than you need, right? If you're only intending on living as a single person, then don't get more than you need, you know? And Virgo, I feel like you're saying that to people, right? It's like somebody was being egregious and was trying to make you feel like some type of way. That's what I'm saying. This isn't a bad thing. I feel like this is one of those classic stories that I'm telling you about where it's like you think it's the end of the world that someone's putting you out, but it's actually your unanswered prayer. Because you're not similar. You know? You have royalty in ways where they think you should be on, that you're a bum. And you're really like this. And you look at them like you don't even have a life. You don't have friends. You don't have any of the intangibles that I have. And the only thing that's making me big or sloppy energetically is actually dealing with your fuck ass. Jesus Christ. Virgo, this is a telenovela. Like, the POV is switching rapidly. So again, get off of the reality television shows, please, for the fuck's sake. That is not how life goes. Because your energy is making no sense to read, you know? You've got to be able to, like, stop with the dramatics type of frequency. Because it's all lined up. It's all good. You have an empress. You could never, you are the empress. You could never, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely that frequency. But yeah, this moon, like I said, it's just like shit kept hitting the fan, hitting the fan, hitting the fan, hitting the fan. Okay. Okay, Brigitte. All right, let's see. I don't know. I'm just channeling. I don't even know. I'm just like out here. Let's see what the moon did. Ace of Swords. Okay, so it looks like a King of Pentacles is telling you the truth under the moon. Ace of Swords. Or the truth just struck down. I'm just getting like, it brought like, again, this moon was all about alignment. So if you didn't want to know the truest truth of the alignment under this moon, it could be good or bad. I don't know what kind of Virgo is listening to this. But under the moon, the Ace of Swords came down, which means like whoever you're aligned to, because you're a King of Pentacles. But it's like your truth comes down, right? Your truth is going to have to come down, and it's going to slice through whatever you're standing with. If it's not for you, right? So because look, I think Virgo, under the moon, you were like, all right, I got to let my truth come out. I'm way more valuable than this person even fucking allows to see. So here comes your truth. Virgo's truth. And that is what came down with the moon, you know? Because it's time to make a judgment call on what it's been for light and for dark, right? It's time for the Queen of, look, she's like, okay, stop, enough. No new water. I'm going to audit what's going on. I feel like under the moon, Virgo, you audited like what your emotional truth is. And the wheel turned reverse, right? And that's what's crossing it. Your Ace of Truth and the Wheel of Fortune reverse. Tower moment. You don't care what you lose. Finally, Virgo. Finally. Because I think either way, what I'm seeing with this telenovela-ass partnership is it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like all theoretical, what the losings and the earnings, you know? It really is. So at the end of the day, you need to just decide, what do you want to be feeling? And can this thing that you're aligned to under this moon give you that? I think every Virgo is going to be asked that. And it can be simple. This doesn't need to be, that's what I'm saying. This could be so simple. This is actually just everyday discernment. But the way that I'm telling you the story about Virgo is like a telenovela, because you're making like the concept of everyday discernment like something like it's like a unique story. Everyone has to do this every second of every day. Okay, so Magician, 7 of Pentacles, right? The Justice. I think Virgo too, you got to tell the truth that you're conscious, that you work in the realm of magic, that you also know that you know this. And for many of you with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, like it's a fucking, you spun the wheel and it's like you didn't win anything from it. This is a not great gamble, you know? Right? Or the awareness of that. Like you knew that what you pick and what you invest in. Right? the Lovers, because I feel like either way, no matter how this is playing out for you, Virgo, you knew that the best investment, the thing to create would have been to follow true love, not follow whatever. Because at this time, you're going to get karma for whether or not you're in true love with your life or not. And that, whatever, however it ended up for you, Virgo, that's what's happening. Temperance. And you were a healer that, you know, you had to, you know, continue to keep giving the truth, but it's good because these people are prepared. Their spiritual truth, you know? It's like you were able to give love even though it's like in the recent past, Spirit was healing you by sending you people who were like protecting you. Like some people that you thought were like cutting you were actually showing you love, Virgo. Right? It was the divine coming to try to rehabilitate your situation. You know? Trying to be like, you know, whatever. Yeah, 4 of Pentacles, the devil. Miserly, this is like a slave dynamic. Not good. So once you get out of that entrapment, you know, mentally, this is killing out slavery in your head. This isn't someone, this is your own, like, frequency. Baby, whenever you're done, do you want to grab the shoes out of that closet for me? Thank you. I was just thinking, I forgot that that's what I was doing. I'll wrap this here in a second. You know? And then finally you will choose and see and discern what feels authentic to you. Authentic. Because you're about to receive something that is authentic. So this, for a lot of you Virgos, this is something that you're realizing. The cat full moon like helped you like look back and review. Because I feel like you got the fucking justice. You're getting karma for, look, it looks like you're getting good karma for the fact. So if something good is happening to you right now, or like a fucking magical opportunity is coming after something hit the fan for you recently, under this moon also, that you didn't see, it's kind of surprising, is because you're a star. And because you never stopped advocating for yourself, and that there are people who have real love for you. And I think it's this real love that is coming to rehabilitate the situation just because you advocated. They've been watching the whole time. Yeah, they're going to put a boundary up and get you out of there so fast. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You were the Empress the whole time. You sat there and advocated. People were always watching. The portal opens. You set up the boundary so you can walk through the portal. And the 4 of Cups. It's all coming at you now. That's what I'm saying. I think what was going on there could have also been like way less dramatic. You know? Again, these are like relationships that we like let blast out for way too long or whatever. 3 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. You're not in trouble, right? You're not, it's like, it's the best thing that's coming for you, Virgo. I think this is what I'm saying. This is like a fear. This is like, this probably has to do with enslavement, you know? Like at a cellular level. Healing that. Healing deep abuse. You know? Deep abuse from past lives, from ancestry, with your magnetism, with your attraction, healing deep attraction wounds. Because you don't have to put yourself in bondage like covenants or contracts. Yeah, you're gonna have a new path because you're realizing now that like just because you lost that doesn't mean that you lose a path, like you have no path anymore. You're gonna go back. This is who you are, Virgo. You were built for this. You're meant to be the light in the dark. So if the light gets put out, like you actually did your best work, is what I'm hearing during this time on yourself. You know, you're actually like getting more in tune with yourself. At least the time you spent by yourself was by yourself, so you can spend time getting to know who you are, Virgo. So it just looks like your outcome is the Hermit, Knight of Pentacles. You're completely back in Virgo energy. You know, this was a karmic debt I feel like truly that you had to pay from a past life. Like that's the whole point there. And it was going to have you get back into your energy and understand how to light your way through dark situations and really be solid through it and hold your own value through it. Because either way, like how this, look at how karma's doing you proper. You're going to fucking have the investment. You invested in the right thing. I just don't think you ever really gave up on yourself. Like you saw that these people have issues with like enslaving people and doing whatever. So either way, even if this person is karmically contracted to be on your path for some reason, you did know how to be sovereign, you know? Really, titties? Well, if you're going to commit to the act, the heinous crimes that you're doing, then commit. So, that's the message right now. Okay? I don't know. So Saturn retrograde, that's the next 5 months, you know? This could be the fallout of the next 5 months. This could be but the idea here is that we were going to put you back into a proper balancing, you know, in life, and really get you back into your own skin, which is the most important thing for you, Virgo. It's truly the most important thing. Okay? And so, yeah, look at this guy. So I know it may have seemed hard and difficult, but it really was something that, you know, a debt to pay, and it has a wonderful dividend. Because in the end, it's just a fear. This relationship was the manifestation of a big fear. And Saturn retrograde is going to take you back to recover life that this fear may have taken from you because of like constantly manifesting it. Like Saturn has moved you forward from like just continually doing the same thing over again. So we're going to call this message like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So that's why Spirit is dragging you through these telenovela-ass experiences so that you get the depth. Because sometimes I think Virgo's like, why can't it just be simple and consistent and easy? And why can't everybody just like fucking pay me what I, you know, because life would be fucking boring, Virgo. That's why. That's why. So, you know, I know this person, like, maybe it hurt to see how inconsistent they were, like, becoming in the connection. But it also had to do with just like, dude, they want some variance. Maybe the way you live is a little boring, you know? They want some spice of life, Virgo. You're not a boring person. It just means, like, what you're doing may not be, like, that exciting. And that's what I was telling you, too much blue light, too much being inside. Like right now people are getting called outdoors, like right, you're people that are for you, like meet me outside. Like I feel like that's what your person wants to tell you. It's like, dude, it's not that I was even trying to walk out on nothing. It's just like, dude, you're never like out of yourself. You're always in hermit mode, you know? And so like they're just like, they were out there, but they're just like out there. They're not inside of your world, in your mind. So yeah, people see you, they feel you, but they want you to like meet them, you know, in that frequency, you know? Or maybe this is something you were saying to someone, right? Where it's like, dude, it's just like, I need you to kind of meet me in the middle here, right? So we can make something shake. But yeah, it's actually really simple. I think that's how you're feeling either way. It's not, I'm not even trying to ascribe you. Like I said, take this as a story. But it's like, what you're witnessing in your life in some ways, like, dude, this is something that could have been really simple, and because of people's wounding, it becomes really dramatized. You know, like basic communication skills, believe it or not, if you don't have them, like, can really become a dramatic phenomenon type of frequency. So, okay, Virgo, have a good day. Bye.